Hello and welcome to the Ledger Lounge, an accounting and business advisory podcast brought to you by James Scott at Manchester. My name's Matthew Taylor.
And I'm Katie Allan. Welcome to the Ledger Lounge.
Hello, and this week we've got a special guest in the Ledger Lounge. We've got Tom Colley, who is with us at James Scott. Now, about 6 or 7 years ago, I got a letter through the post at the office, and it said, "My name is Tom Colley," and he was looking for work experience with us.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, and the rest, as you say, is history, Tom. So, welcome, Tom.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Tom. Been at James Scott nearly 7 years now. Aside from a letter in the post.
Did you actually post it, or did you hand deliver it?
No, they were all posted through. Maybe I popped it on reception.
Oh.
I was finishing college, writing them all out, kind of handwritten or hand-typed. It'd have been typed.
I think it was typed.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to read it if it were handwritten.
I was just going to say your writing's awful.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to read it. Yeah, my work experience, didn't I? And then I had them in my grasp then.
Yeah, and then I think you then came back and asked to come back for another work experience a bit later. So you did that, and we couldn't put you off accountancy.
Yeah, that's it.
We've done it with a few people over the years. We've managed to turn them away from
possessed
it.
about numbers.
Yeah.
God, 7 years ago, Tom.
7 years, that's it. I've never been a boy, answer.
And then I suppose we fast forward to 2025, where we are today. And about 2 weeks ago, we get a message through on WhatsApp while you were away, I think. And you've passed your final ACCA exam.
That's it, yeah.
Which is brilliant news, and well done.
Thank you. Final exam, bit of admin to do, but that's it. I've gone from nothing to chartered accountant.
It's amazing, isn't it, when you think about 7 years, you've done it in quite a quick time, really.
Yeah, from no experience, so I'll never even see any accountancy, nothing.
Did you always know you wanted to be an accountant?
Yeah, originally I wanted to be an actuary. Was the first one. I suppose kind of just, as you become more of a realist and look at what the jobs entail and things, you actually want to be an accountant's more reasonable.
Yeah.
And it's definitely probably a more versatile job role, and it's something I understand a lot more than what an actuary does.
What even is an actuary?
I don't know. It's to do with insurance and risk and high level calculations, and it's not so much the real world that we live in.
So you settled for accountancy then?
No, accountancy it's definitely still an interesting job. I think they're probably two different jobs completely there. But accountants live a lot more in the real world.
And have personalities.
They do podcasts.
Sorry to any actuaries out there listening.
No, I'm happy with the decision I made. I think accountancy is for me.
Oh, good.
Aye.
So it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what's really good about the route that you took is that you left school at, were you 18?
I was 17. I turned 18 the week after I started.
Okay, yes. Oh, yeah. You took an apprenticeship route with us.
Yeah. Finished school, had the summer, did a bit of work experience, started in August, and then come September I started my very first lessons under the apprenticeship scheme.
Was that your AAT level 3?
It started with a couple of level 2 ones.
Right.
I didn't do the full level 2 one because it wouldn't have been needed because I'd already passed the A levels. But it's like your introduction to accountancy. It helps when you double entry, control accounts, what it means this, what means that. And it just helps kind of build that platform to start the actual apprenticeship journey. Yeah. So I did a couple of, probably call it half a year, studying level 2, if that, maybe quarter of a year, get into level 3. And then from that point onwards, it's just been non-stop study, hasn't it?
We was on our level 4. I had a gap in my level 4, a big gap in my level 4. I mean, I had a baby in between.
I was going to say, I think it was called maternity leave rather than a gap.
And we ended up in some of the same lessons together. That was during COVID, because it was online, and you had to text me one day and say, "Kate, you know your camera's on, don't you?" Or you're not on mute, and my dad's in the background going, "Kate, do you want a brew?"
Yeah, oh God, I remember those COVID lessons.
Of course, Katie, you did the apprenticeship route as well, didn't you, for your level 2, 3 and 4, I think.
Yeah.
You started.
I don't think I did it for level 4.
Right. No, you didn't.
I weren't eligible for level 4 because I already had a level 4 in something that I never went off to do after I qualified.
Right. Lion taming?
No, public services.
Okay.
Uniformed public services. Yes, I did want to be in the police when I was younger. Very glad I'm not now.
You've gone out the other end of the spectrum of excitement, haven't you?
Yeah. So why apprenticeship rather than university?
I think it's a couple of things. I think the debt element is a big one.
Yeah, I suppose 60k is probably a big number.
It took me 7 years to get to this point now. I would have still had to do some exams after uni anyway, but I'd have 60 grand's worth of debt. So you can't. If you think the other way around, I've actually earned a salary all this time, you're looking probably 100 grand financial difference, start to finish. And on the other hand, now you get people come out of uni and they've not got that real world experience with it, have they? So you've got the knowledge up there, but you can't really apply it, can you? So then you get into the actual work, and because you're at that level already of education, you're expected not to make mistakes and hit the ground running, but in reality, they're probably not going to.
Yeah, because they've not got the experience.
But at the same time, I'm out that same point they'd be at, and I'm not typically older, I'm only 25. And I've got 7 years actual experience of working in an accountancy practice. So you actually meet real people, have those real conversations.
And you've spent 7 years building relationships with your own clients. I've already got
clients now that I can ring on the phone that I've spoke to for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Whereas you finish university and you've still got to pretty much start fresh.
I think that's just going back to that, it's a big thing, because you could finish uni and start with James Scott, let's say, and be expected to have communication skills with clients. Exactly. You're not taught that at university. Exactly. You're taught how to do how to be an accountant. You're not taught how to talk to clients and what things might crop up every now and again, or day to day.
And I think on the apprenticeship scheme as well, maybe the way the government structure it, but they want you to learn those real life soft skills and things, don't you? Communication skills, stuff like that. So you actually have to write pieces and focus on and develop things like your communication skills. And it's different ways with different kind of people. Is it going to be on the phone? Is it formal? Is it informal? Is it email? Dealing with things face to face, things like that. And you actually have to evaluate your own performance on that. Whereas university probably don't go into that much detail on the other side of it.
No, they're just trying to get you through the exams.
They're getting through your accountancy exams, and then they let you free on the world.
But from an employer's point of view, those soft skills are really important as well. And I think when you've got an apprentice program, you get support from a training provider. So they will not just give you classroom lessons or revision courses or online, if it as it was at one point. They will also assign you an advisor. Like you're with on a regular basis.
Yeah, like your tutor, your development. I don't know. I can't say development officer.
Like a coach.
Skills coach. Something like that. Yeah, that's it. And so you have these regular meetings with them, don't you? You have to score yourself 1 to 5 and set yourself realistic targets and stuff like that, don't you? So I think it makes sense. Obviously, the apprenticeship is made by the government, but their idea is to get a skilled workforce going into it.
That knows British values as well.
Yeah, the core British values as well.
Which are?
Making cups of tea, beans on toast. No, your democracy, integrity, all these kind of things, mutual respect and tolerance. So it's just kind of getting mature people in the workplace into it. And it's things that if you go to university, you've got to start fresh at the end. I'm not saying it's probably not good. People go to university and swear by it, won't they? There
probably are some downsides or some drawbacks from an apprenticeship as well, from an employee's point of view.
Yeah, it's not going to be perfect, is it? I think the only thing you've probably got to really consider is you've got to essentially do a university course. At the end of level 7, you're master's level educated. Yeah. So I'm doing a master's degree at the same time as working full time in a demanding job. And that's all got to be balanced up. And when you're at that kind of levels, when every exam, it's 3 months between exam, you've not really got time for things like failure. So you've got to be hitting the exams and smashing them out of the park at the same time as hitting your targets in the workplace. So, there's that mental challenge of it and the stress of having to make, it's no easy feat actually sitting these exams. They are big exams and they are hard and they take a bloody long time. But
you don't want to be going back. You don't want to. There's no room to fail, really, is there?
Exactly.
Then you've got to go back to the beginning of it.
You've got that added bit of stress behind that. You've got to pass this exam and you go into it. And you go in the exam and you sit and you think, oh, it was all right. That actually, it didn't even that bad. But you don't really know, and it's 6 weeks till you get your marks back.
6 weeks doesn't sound like a long time, but it is when you're waiting and you've probably already started the next. Well, you don't have to do it now because you've done it, but you've already started the next unit.
That's it. Yeah, you got the coursework side of it and all, don't you? You've got 1,000 word, 2,000, 3,000 word essays and things like that for the ACCA, but also to satisfy the government. And you can use the same material for them both. You can't copy and paste, but it's still your words. it's just a bit more to do, isn't it? A bit more on the admin side.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's probably worth doing it. I'd recommend doing it my way.
So after about 3 years of studying, you get to the end of your level 4, which is the AAT.
That's your AAT technician then, isn't it? Your AAT qualified, so you get your first letters after your name at that point, don't you?
And then you moved on to the ACCA, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants.
That's the one.
Exam route. And did you get exemptions from some of the levels within that? Yeah,
so the way the ACCA works, I think you can start it whenever you want to, but you'd have to do 3 extra exams to kind of like gauge where you're at. So it's like your basics on management accounting, basics on reporting and stuff like that. Before, obviously, you can be let loose on the rest of them and you don't want to be set up to fail, do you? But I suppose doing the AAT exams gives you that exemption for those first 3, allowing you to kind of just start at the applied skills level already. You know, you already have that basic knowledge. Let's build it up now then. And there's definitely a jump from AAT to ACCA if you think of it. That's level 4, that's level 7. There's 3 levels worth of content there, isn't there? You've jumped, if that's how it works. You've got that assumed knowledge. You're going to go into your first lessons and the tutor's going to be saying, you should already be knowing these things. So let's build on it. So you need to have that knowledge already there, don't you? Spending that 3 years or so like that doing AAT. One, you've already done a qualification then, you've already got experience, you've got those letters after your names, carries a bit of pride. But you're setting yourself up for success already, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I think that the ACCA exams, when I studied, they weren't available under the apprenticeship programme. So it was always employer funded. And with the introduction of level 7 apprenticeships, and I can't remember when it was, but it's a few years ago, you've got now, from an employer's point of view, you've still got that support and somebody paying, we make an employer contribution, but you've got a reduction in the training costs for your employees.
Oh, yeah. You can see how it helps small businesses out. You think the cost to take someone from college to chartered accountant is probably not negligible. And for a small business or a growing business that might have not got a lot of staff at the moment, it's a big investment.
Yeah.
So how many exams are there in the ACCA? It's 14, is it?
13 in total. I got my exemption from 3, so I had to sit 10.
You had to sit 10.
When did you start it?
I think my first one was June 2022.
So not even 3 years. Well, I know you've got the admin side of it to do now, but it's in less than 3 years. You've done 10 exams.
So when you say like you can only do 1 exam every quarter, it's 3 months into it. And I'm pretty sure for 2 of the years, I didn't sit the March sitting because your study time would be like January, February, which obviously January is typically like a busy time, isn't it? So they kind of like let you not sit there so you can catch up on your work and your admin while it's that busy season.
Yeah.
And then obviously you typically then after Jan until April when there's no tax returns that one doing, you can get back into college then.
Yeah.
And go like that. But so I've had essentially 6 months off doing exams because you miss those 2, but apart from that, it's pretty much one after another, isn't it?
Yeah, I think 3 years is usually about I think each apprenticeship has to last a year anyway, at least a year anyway.
Yeah, a year and a day, they say, don't they?
Is it a year and a day? Yeah. Is that each level of the apprenticeship? Or
I think
is that
so.
just...
I think as long as you're on the whole thing for a year and a day, it satisfies that criteria for it. And obviously with the government funding, won't it? But I think obviously for how long they last anyway, it's more than enough anyway. That's never going to fail.
Big year for you then this year, isn't it? ACCA qualified.
ACCA qualified, new house.
Well, homeowner.
Aye, first time. What's going on?
Fellow tip runner. You've been doing that a lot, haven't you?
Ruining me car for tip runs. No, it's been a very...
To be fair, I think your car was ruined before the tip.
Well, no, now it's ruined and dirty. I think now it's the studying's finished. It's trying to think of what to do. Is there a bit of a relief next
for you now as well that you've finished the studying and you've got a bit more time to yourself?
It's like, you have the calm before the storm. This is like the weird calm after the storm. Yeah. You don't know what to do with yourself. You go from having to like finish your full day's worth of work, go home and then you're studying, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like every night.
What don't they say it's 40 hours a week or 30 hours a week you should be studying?
I think they say between like 2 and 3 hours a day usually.
Yeah.
It's basically any free time you get, you've got to be in the books.
It's a long day, that, isn't it, when you work?
It is, especially after you've done a full day's work.
Yeah.
But
it's worth it.
I always remember getting home and having my tea and then being locked in the kitchen and go and study and come out at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yours would have been a big book, wouldn't it? Like that
Thank
big
you.
then.
Yes.
Well, it wouldn't have been a computer, would it?
I've always found I'm a bit of a weird reviser though, because I don't revise in that normal way. I want to get the books out and reread them. It doesn't really work for me. Because I'll read the page and it wouldn't have meant anything. I have to reread that page again. So, I'm doing me 2 hours to say something like that, but whether it's watching like the tutor recorded videos or if it's on YouTube and looking at other people and like, all the tutors talking about the exams or like study forums or something like that.
Yeah.
So like this final exam, say it's on like a case study and it was on essentially like the exam version of the National Trust. So rather than just studying the same kind of material on this exam, it's more like actually why don't you learn wholly about that industry. When you go on the exam, you can talk about real experiences of the National Trust and like apply that kind of knowledge. And it kind of gives you those bonus points for knowing what you're talking about and delivering it with confidence.
Right.
So it's not, I don't just like sit in the books and like, start doing calcs.
So you didn't just have
like
loads
that.
of post-it notes around your room?
No, it doesn't really work for me. I'm more just like a bit of question practice and things like that and get, especially because they're so they're so stuck to that time, you have to be on the ball for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's like a 3.5 hour exam and you're writing like a madman for 3.5 hours.
I think you've got to be really disciplined in exams.
Yeah.
You've got to.
You can't.
And your technique and your approach of how you're going to do it.
You can't afford to say, click that start button and then get a bit of a knock kind of thing. When you read the question, you can't take that. You can't really have that 5 minutes to pull yourself together. You've got to be on the ball from the first minute right to the end.
With ACCA, like so it's 3.5 hours, is it your exams? Or
The last
they
one,
differ?
some of the starter ones are a bit short, but it's usually things like 3 hours in exam, 3 hours 15, something
So
like
if
that.
you, not that anybody probably does, but let's say somebody finished in 2 hours, are you allowed to do?
No,
Are they allowed to get up and go, or have they got to stay there?
Just got to sit there, but you won't be finished in 2 hours.
With AAT, when I used to set exams, let's say it was 2.5 hours, I'd see people leaving after like an hour and a half, and then I'd be thinking, why am I only on task 7? I've got 3 more left. They're done. Well, how are they done? And then I used to find myself concentrating on why people was leaving rather than looking at the question. I'd be like, oh.
I thought that took me on. I was always one of those early finishers.
It was distracting on level 4.
But
people up and down.
I've known a couple of ACCA exams now that I've done where I've literally been on the seconds.
With no time to go back through it.
No, that's my spell checking time. And
right.
I didn't realise until right towards the end that they're not actually that bothered about spelling. As long as you can understand what you've written, they're not that bothered. So I was like, I'm wasting all this time, mate. I'm spell checking. It didn't even, because there's no spell check. It's all
done by yourself.
No red lines, right? You have to read through it yourself and rewrite it and things like that. And if it's a word you can't spell, you've got to come pick a synonym.
I suppose if you're down to the last seconds, that's where the exam discipline comes in. And it's like knowing that when I was doing exams, it was 1.8 minutes per mark.
Yeah, probably about the same.
And so if you had a 20-mark question, you'd spend 36 minutes on it and stop at 36 minutes.
Yeah.
Because,
and if you've got time, then come back to it.
Yeah, you're going to have earned most of the marks you're going to earn anyway. In that 36 minutes.
With some of the exams, so there's no negative marking for them. So if you just kind of like throw it all at the wall and see what sticks, you won't get any negative marks for putting a wrong idea in after the right one kind of thing. But obviously, there's also a limit. If say it's a 16-mark question, it's going to be probably 2 marks per point. So you can get your 8 points in. If you put like 13, 14 points and you're not getting more than 16, you won't get any
only going to
more
get
marks
16.
like that. So it's kind of like not taking the time out of the other questions to try and really do well on one if you've already already done it. So it's kind of just like, it's knowing when to move on and not let things get to you.
Do you think AAT helps then with your exam technique on ACCA a little bit, like you had that discipline?
It's weird because it's different style of exams. AAT is a lot more preparation stuff, like calculate this figure, fill this, and where ACCA, I think because they already assume that you know how to do that, the question will come pre-filled in, and they want you to go into the details of it or write about it. So it's definitely handy to have that knowledge so you know what you're talking about. What I thought AAT did help with quite a bit is you learn all your ratios and things like that. So you have them on the top of your head, like readily available. You don't have to spend any time trying to calculate them when you look at this question because you already know them. So if you can calculate, your return on capital in a split second, you've got more time to talk about it, and that's where the marks are lying.
Yeah,
it definitely helps because it gives you that knowledge. I think if you didn't do it, I reckon that first exam would be horrible. It'd be an eye opener.
Some people do struggle with doing their ACCA, don't they? I think they don't understand how big of a jump it is.
No, it is. I think from level 3 to level 4 is a big jump as well in the AAT. So and then from 4 to 7,
you skip 2 levels really, haven't
is the ACCA. And I think, as you said before, it's at postgraduate level.
Yeah, so you don't get one in the post anymore, but you do get a certificate of equivalence for a master's degree.
Yeah.
So I think you can get that in the post once it's done, and I can have that on my wall, I suppose. But yeah, I know once you finish the first set of your ACCA exams, you can do an extra piece of work and you'd get your bachelor's degree in applied accounting. But if you're going all the way anyway, you might as well just get that master's level.
Yeah.
But
so what will your name be now, Tom? Thomas Colley?
ACCA.
King Tom Colley.
King. Yeah. Servants of the King.
Yeah, for full disclosure, our WhatsApp group at work is, and it has been for many, many years, has been Servants of the King, and the King is Tom. Right. So we obviously recognise when that letter came through the door or on the reception 7 or 8 years ago that the future King was amongst us.
Yeah. What have you said before? I am the face of James Scott.
The face of James Scott. Yes. The future of James Scott.
Yes, yeah. I think the fact that you brought the letter in shows that you're prepared. You're sort of backing yourself a little bit, aren't you? You're not just putting it in the post. You're not, and these days, just emailing.
I think I pestered you as well. I think I probably rang
you
every
probably
day.
did pester
I probably rang every day for a week.
Yeah, Matthew's like that. Bloody Thomas.
And I do think that your email address probably was King Colley.
Yeah, Colley King.
So, Colley King, that's right. So I think that probably makes it, there's something about this lad. He might have a chance.
It's a funny name, actually, that Colley King. So it came from when I was 5 years old and the Xbox 360 had just come out. So my dad was setting it up, and obviously you have to pick like your username on it, don't you? Obviously I'm like 5 years old, I have no input on this. And you couldn't think of anything else. So I'm like, Colley King.
And it's just stuck.
And that's it forever now.
Right.
That's the rest of my life, that.
Yeah.
Is that what email you put down? You were signing up to your level 7?
Yeah, that's still my email, and it always will be. I think everyone probably thinks, if you're a numbers person, accounts is the job for you, and if you love numbers, you love doing maths. But nowadays, it's, you're never more than 5 feet away from a calculator, so you don't need that like mental arithmetic skill anymore to be able to sit there doing calculations and stuff. And in the real world, no one's going to ring you on the phone and say, I need my tax bill this second over the phone. You can go away and calculate it. So it's not so much about the numbers skill nowadays, I don't think. And I think with the exams as well, it takes that certain kind of person to be able to understand it. And maybe it's not going to be for everyone, but I think people can probably do it nowadays. Less focus on the maths, and it's more on the rest of it, and it's more on that general knowledge of like business and business insights and that acumen for being able to deliver that.
Yeah, I think I found that as progressed. I was rubbish at maths at school, really.
I used to be terrible.
And as Mrs. Harbage at Blue Coat will probably testify to. It was, I don't think you need to understand numbers, how they interact with each other, probably have an interest in that.
I think so. I think if you don't like numbers at all, it probably isn't the job for you. If you hate looking at them.
Yeah.
Some of my friends say to me all the time, like, they'll always ask me, what's this plus this or whatever? And I'm like, times this. I'm like,
we're not
she says, well, you're an accountant. I said, well, yeah, but I'm not a human calculator. Like, I'm not just going to
when you're in a restaurant
and they always give me the bill.
Well, I'm all right if there's 10 people, but
trying to divvy it up.
What's that between 6 of us? I'm like, get your calculator out.
I get a spreadsheet up on my phone and start doing it like that.
You have your whole life budgeted on this.
My whole life lives on spreadsheets.
You love a spreadsheet.
I think what you do need to learn, or what you do need to be able to do in life to be able to succeed in it, is writing and communication. I think. Especially when you're approaching sometimes you're delicate or sensitive subjects. If you with a client and if they're having financial troubles or something like that, and you need to maybe have that kind of reassure and be a bit more tender with them.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who probably hasn't got they're a bit more abrupt or something like that in the communication, it's not going to work. Is you can have all the numbers, you can tell someone the tax bill, the number, but if it's in the wrong way, it's not going to.
Yeah,
not going to fill them with confidence. Yeah, a bit of people skills, and I think same if you're going to be sending, a lot of the job is sending emails out, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're you're definitely sending a few a day without fail. So, you need to be good at, be able to write things, get them in the right way, deliver that across.
I always send you a few emails mistakenly, don't I? Because it's supposed to go to another Tom. A client, well, not even that, Dexed. It's going to, and then Tom's like, you've sent me these invoices again, and I'm like, that's why they're not indexed.
I'm missing a couple of these. I think if you had to give advice for someone who wanted to go into accountancy and they didn't know anything at the moment, it's probably still definitely first to shop around. And what do you think suits you as a person? Or is it university? Is it an apprenticeship? And I suppose that age as well, you're not going to really know, are you? But
I suppose you've already got to have a job in place. You've got to be employed somewhere to be able to start an apprenticeship anyway. So some people have no choice but to go down the university route if they've not got an employer.
Before I started off, I had interviews and things at a load of different accounts firms. Some were bigger ones in town, some of them were other small local ones that weren't as good as James Scott. And it's probably also, obviously you get offered it, you don't get offered the job kind of thing, but it also kind of think of what kind of support do you think you'd need and what kind of environment do you reckon you'd thrive in. One of these big ones in town are going to have the high expectations and they're probably not going to provide the support. Now, I think we've all heard stories where you've failed an exam at, one at big firms, and you go into work the next day and your desk has been packed up for you because there's just no room for it. And that kind of stress, that's not needed, especially for a young person. Whereas like where I've been at James Scott, they've been quite accommodating of it all. And
like support.
Workplace support's there as well. So, for me as a person, at least you can rely on something and there's somewhere to go for advice, and you're not got that kind of like stress in the back of your head thinking, oh my God, is my job secure? And that's kind of helped me just get through it all. And I think, especially being a smaller firm and all, the experience you get in the workplace has definitely helped as well. Whereas, let's say you work in the VAT department of a big firm, you'll be a master at VAT, and any of the exam questions on VAT, you'll smash them out the park. Yeah. But if it comes down to tax returns, or if it comes down to, the admin side of the jobs, payment dates, things like that, they might not be on the ball with it.
Yeah.
And that support you get from an employer in the apprentice, I think from a small firm like we are, a small employer, getting the support from an outside body to develop you as well. So, when I was talking earlier about the mentoring side that you get from the training provider, that's really useful from our point of view, because that's elements that we don't have to cover off this
is what I think. Like, I'll always recommend the apprenticeship way, because I think it does develop you as a person. And I'm guessing, I'm sure universities will have something similar and put, some kind of careers counsellor, some kind of career guidance sort of thing. But, maybe they are a bit left, sink or swim, kind of fend for yourself.
Yeah, they probably have them there for you as an individual to use them. Like they probably don't book appointments in with you and stuff. No, it's up to you as an individual.
And you probably don't know what you need until you need it.
Yeah.
But at least, when it's kind of part of your schedule as an apprentice anyway. And maybe you take it for granted at the time, but if you look 7 years ago and look now, you probably can see the value in it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So it's
brilliant. Well done, Tom.
That's brilliant advice, Tom. Thanks.
Thank you.
And,
thanks for having me.
Thanks for sharing your progress through the profession, and great to see how the structured training and the real world experience have gone hand in hand to get you to where you are.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining on the Ledger Lounge, and see you next week.
The Ledger Lounge is brought to you by James Scott Accounting and is hosted by Matthew Taylor and Katie Allan. For more information, visit jamesscott.com. This podcast is recorded at and produced by KUPOD Productions, audio by Matt Dean and video by Eddie Corteen. For more info, visit kupod.co.uk.